Hey, happy football. Merry Christmas Saturday. Merry Christmas Eve Saturday. Welcome to a special edition of Football Beer. That's why we are here. He's Dave. I'm Chuck. And we talk a lot of football and we drink some beer and share what we've chosen for you. You're looking awful festive today, Dave.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Courtesy of my wife, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, I got your ugly 49er sweater.
Mm-hmm. I have pants that match, just so you know.
Do you really? That's exciting. It could be a kid show, so just make sure we keep our pants on during the show. And
Will do.
Anyway, at least throughout the show. So before we get into some football, because we've already got some football, today is the big day for football, really, this weekend. So we decided to move our show from Christmas Day to today, so to get you all ready for some football. Hopefully you are going to be joining the show. If not, always check in and add something to the comments. Let us know you've watched the show. It's always great. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and we do this every week, every Sunday, 9 a.m. on the west coast of the United States of America. But hey, we wouldn't be football and beer without the beer. So hey, what's your Christmas selection for today, Dave?
So I have a nice holiday beer, Brewdog Brewery out of Ohio, and they are in collaboration and got the trademark rights to work with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Oh. So we have, it's a Butte, and it is a 7.5 stout, and it has the flavoring of pecan and toffee. So very cool can. It's got some of the stuff on there, has a little bit of the marketing things, how they work with National Lampoon. It is a very nice colored dark stout. Perfect for the winter weather. And it's pretty good, pretty delicious. For a stout, super easy drinking, actually. Doesn't have any of those bitter notes sometimes the stout have on it or anything like that. Yeah, real good. It's a 7.5 Brewdog out of Ohio.
Nice. I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that at Total Wine & More.
Yep,
and
that's where I got it.
I'll have to check that one out. I got mine at Total Wine & More, so obviously if you want to get the brews that we have, more than likely your local Total Wine, if you've got one, will have it. I've got a warm welcome nut brown ale for today. A little fireplace there, a little hearthy. This is I believe a 6.0 ABV. This is actually the same brewer that did the lump of coal on the show, I think last week. And but yeah, so it's a nut brown ale. Haven't even tried it. Thought I broke it on the way home because I dropped it on the ground, the bag, and so. But yeah, so nice toasty color. It actually pours a lot lighter than it looks once it's in a glass and everything. But oh yeah, that's a sip by the fire, and sip beer. Oh, that's got some really nice flavor to it, kind of buttery. This is really nice. I'm gonna enjoy this one. But so if you've got a holiday brew or a favorite holiday drink that you like to have this time of year, put it in the comments. What do you guys what's your go-to? Even if it's Coca-Cola, what's your go-to for the holidays? And good morning, Robert. Thanks for joining the show. The beers are tasty today, buddy, and so is the football. So we got, like you said, most of the games are today. I've kind of noted that when I put the banners up, the games that are today, tomorrow, or the Chargers game on Monday. But we last week I did something a little corny, and I allowed the luck of the coin to choose my picks last week. And as it turns out, my picks last week were pretty much as equal as flipping a coin, as I went 8-8 for the week. Dave went 6-10. Maybe you should have flipped a coin, buddy.
I might this week.
So I picked up a couple more games on you. So I'm looks like I'm up 4 games on you for the season right now. I still, abysmal. See, I meant to go back this week, and I was going to look and see if where we were last week, and I mean, I'm sorry, last year, this time, and just to kind of see if things were, because I know this is a bad year for our picks, and I kind of want to see where we were last year at this time. But so I've opened it up. There's only a few more weeks, few more games left, and before we get into playoffs, of course, we'll run it through playoffs. But yeah, we need to finish the year strong, the regular season strong. Dave, make the playoffs.
Would be nice. It's just this year's crazy. I mean, you can't. There's so many teams didn't expect to be having the seasons they're having so far this season, and then you got kind of some bad teams randomly winning week to week, and good teams falling off, and it's been a real weird year to not even just to pick the spread, but just to pick games.
Yeah,
Straight up has been
straight up.
difficult. So we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
well, one we didn't have a problem picking was Thursday night's game, the Jaguars and the Jets. Jags won this 19-3. I think the Jets played three different quarterbacks. They may play a couple more quarterbacks from the stands next week or something. They had Streveler in there, who was an Arizona Cardinals quarterback. Not a bad guy, but when it's not Wilson or Flacco, I think they just played the two. Maybe I don't know that Flacco got in the game. Just played the two, and but still, you got Flacco on the bench over there, and you're not playing. That's a mess in New York with that team right now.
Yeah, it's too bad. They have a really good defense. They have a guy in Quentin Williams that could be up for Defensive Player of the Year. They have one of the most exciting cornerbacks, and Sauce Gardner at corner. And he's up there leading, close to lead, if not leading in interceptions for the league. So the defense is really doing well. It's just that offense can't get it going. They do have a couple decent receivers there. Conklin's an okay tight end. He shows up some weeks. But yeah, as soon as I saw Zach Wilson was going to be the starter, I immediately would put all my money on the Jaguars.
Sure.
Because it's just this kid has no support in New York anymore. Basically, immediately after the game, they were like, "Is this the last we'll ever see of Zach Wilson in New York?" The fans were booing him all night. And to his credit, yeah, it wasn't a good performance, but it also was pouring down rain with a lot of wind. He wasn't going to be able to throw a ball past 20 yards probably anyway. It just was a real bad weather game for throwing the ball. But it doesn't matter. The city's turned on this kid. They're ready to win. They have tools to win. And I think everybody that watches the Jets thinks he's the reason that they're going to get held back. So,
that's not. I don't think that's accurate.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't see Zach Wilson getting very much support going forward. I'm not sure if he'll be the guy. I believe Mike White. He's been playing pretty good, but he's hurt. I don't think he's the quarterback of the future. But if you watch any of the games, the fans are definitely more Mike White supporters than they are Zach Wilson supporters.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I think Zach Wilson's played his last game there. I think that maybe they'll ride Mike White into next season and see what happens with the kid. And so, all right, so we won that game. So we're undefeated. We should probably just stop and call it a week and just, hey, we're undefeated, 100%. But we've got some others that we have to pick. So today's game today is the Bills are going on the road to play the Bears. Thankfully, my flip of the coin picked the Bears last week, and they took care of business. And but now you have the Bills on the road, and it's just going to be a mostly cloudy game. I've got this nice website I found, NFL Weather. I'm just going to list all the games. You can click on it, gives you a nice little forecast. But it's only going to be like 8 degrees in Chicago, so nice and cold and cloudy throughout the day. But shouldn't be a problem for either one of these teams. They're known to playing weather. Yeah, who you got here?
I'd like to take the Bears on the spread just because they did keep it within 5 last week against the Eagles. I mean, they had a big spread against them last week, and they definitely played well enough to stay in the game. Justin Fields with his legs, he has that ability to get first downs and kind of keep the ball away from the other team. If anything, they don't score a lot of points, but he can keep that offense on the field for a while with his legs, getting first downs and things like that. But I really want to take the Bills just because they're such a powerhouse. Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm feeling festive. The Bears are my second favorite team in the NFL, so I'm gonna just pick the Bills to stay under that 8. Maybe they lose by 7. Maybe they lose by a touchdown, but that still
Taking the
gets
Bears,
me
not
under that 8. So I'm gonna take the Bears at home just because they kept it close against a really good team last week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually going to take the Bears at home. They played well last week against best team in the NFL really, and even though maybe Hurts is banged up, of course he's not going to be playing today. But I'm taking the Bears also to keep this a little bit closer. So if we lose, I'm going down with you. Robert's got the Bears as well. So looks like our fans are on board with us for once during the season. So next up, we have the Saints going to play the Cleveland Browns on the road. The Browns are favored at home by 2.5, and I have no problem right now taking the Browns. The Saints are a wreck. I'm just I'm just picking the home team here. Going with the Browns.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick that with you too. I think Cleveland at home's good. They got home field advantage. I think they're starting to click. Watson's feeling a little bit more comfortable with everybody. And yeah, the Saints beat a bad Falcons team, but the Saints aren't anything really this year. So I'm gonna take the Browns at home by a field goal also.
And there is projected 1 to 2 inches of snow in Cleveland this morning. So
I hope that run game of the Browns.
Yeah, so take that dome team, put them in some snow, see what happens. Texans and Titans. Titans are favored by 3.5. I'm laughing at this game. Texans are Tannehill, I believe, is out. He's having surgery. Had surgery. They didn't put him on the injured reserve, thinking he's going to be back maybe for week 18. It's like, man, just sit the guy. I mean, he's desperate to get back, I guess. And just to kind of go back and compare, Robert's got the Brownies. Run game should lock it up today. Same as what Dave said there. So I think you guys are on something. But so Titans without Tannehill got the Texans, who kind of like to keep things close. Could have won last week. I don't know, but didn't. So who you got here?
This is a tough one. Tannehill's out. They'll have that rookie Willis in, so that'll be fun for Titans fans to see what their future is going to look like. Their future maybe as soon as next year or the year after, since Tannehill can't get any points with these young receivers he has. And Derrick Henry is going to have to carry the ball 40 times for them to have a chance in any game, which isn't a good recipe. But Texans are pretty banged up. Most of the receivers are banged up. I know their rookie running back's banged up. So just because of injuries, I think this Willis kid has a great opportunity to come in here and make some plays at home and kind of show that crowd what he can do and get them on board to be a fan of him. I really feel like this is a huge opportunity. You're playing the worst team in the NFL at home. And so that's kind of a nice setup for a young kid to maybe have a nice day introducing himself to his hometown fans. So just for that reason, I'm gonna take the Titans. I hate that it's 3.5. I wish it was 2.5, a 3 solid. But I don't know. Yeah, he can move around a bit, and the only thing he doesn't have receivers. So I'm just gonna take the Titans for everybody else on the team because I don't feel like the Texans really have that great quarterback or offense either. So it's probably going to be one of the worst games of the week. It's going to look ugly. It's going to be an ugly game, that's for sure, especially this far in the season. But I'll take the Texans just at home because.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to take the Texans. Just how well they actually can kind of play or keep themselves in games. That 3.5, that half a point is really, kind of enticing to me. But the Titans are playing at home. It'll be a chilly 15 degrees, but that's about it. And I Oh yeah, I'm taking the Texans today. I just feeling it, and Derrick Henry's got to run for 500 yards today. 500. So, 500 yard. He runs for 500 yards, and Robert is a millionaire. He's got that prop bet going. Yeah, taking the Texans, man. Feeling it. This is the week. I can't do any worse. Seahawks and Chiefs. Seahawks have finally gone on the slide, kind of that I think we thought they would from the beginning of the year. And Robert's taken, just to close that out, Robert has taken the Texans also. Uh, but Seahawks, Chiefs start. I mean, honestly, the Chiefs. Obviously they started the year good, beating up on the Cardinals right out of the gate. But they were in some close games and lost some games, but they're really playing a lot better football right now. And it's gonna be 10 degrees, clear throughout the day. Taking the Chiefs at home, even though I think I picked you picked the last game first. So Chiefs at home, 10 points over the Seahawks.
Man, that's a lot of points against a team that's not too bad. I mean, the Seahawks can play pretty well. They've shown it most of the season. But then you got that Mahomes magic at home where he could just light you up real quick.
They wear red. Santa wears red. Yeah, I mean, and white. Red and white. Santa wears red and white.
That sold me. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Right?
I mean, that's a hard sell right there. I mean, how can you go against Santa?
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, plus that's a hard place to play on the road too. Kansas City's such a good, one of the best stadiums in the NFL, one of the best fan bases. I feel like home field advantage. So tends a lot against a good Seattle team, but Chiefs could put up a ton of points. So
yeah, I think this is going to be Seattle has played really well, but they've played against teams that just I believe just aren't elite teams yet. Yeah, I mean, they haven't been against that team. I mean, the 49ers are great this year, are playing well this year, but I think this is going to really show them where they're at. And if they can keep this close, great for them. If their defense can keep it close, but I just think that Kelsey, I think Kelsey have a good day. He always does. So yeah, Chiefs. All right. So talked you into picking the Chiefs. So if we lose, you go down with me. All right. So hey, we got the Giants visiting the Vikings in a dome. Weather doesn't matter. Giants are falling apart at the seams. Who you got here?
It's hard not to pick the Vikings after the biggest comeback in NFL history, and to think that they're not, feeling that. They're not using that energy of, oh man, we can do anything. We did something no one else in NFL history's ever done. That's quite a nice chip to have on your shoulder going forward through the year of like, oh, we can be 33 down and come back. Look at us. We're awesome. And the Giants are just kind of going the wrong way. We had some teams that I think when you're looking, like you were talking about the Seahawks, I think the Giants are kind of in the same realm. The Commanders are almost in the same realm. Started off the season real nice, picked up a good handfuls of wins throughout the start of the season against really bad teams. And now they're kind of showing their true colors of, oh, we're really not that bad. We're just not as bad as the bad teams. But yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings at home. I think after that comeback win, the fans are going to be pumped to see him and root for him and celebrate that win last week that they had. And, they're moving forward. They've already won the division. That's one thing we're going to have to look at a little bit. They've already won the division, but I know they're probably trying to seeding, they don't really need to win any more games. They could rest guys moving forward. That's something we'll have to look at. Who's going to be resting, the teams that are making the playoffs that don't care about seeding or something like that. But I feel like the Vikings are going to have this week. They're going to want to play good still at home, and they'll get this 4-point win.
Yeah, I think resting, with 3 games left would be a serious mistake. Maybe
A little too soon.
1 or 2, but I think, and especially if when you came back with what you did last week against the Colts and pulled off that victory, which I don't know how they did that, but they did. I still don't think the Vikings are that good of playoff team. So, um, but yeah, I have to take the Vikings here at home. The Giants, the way they've been sliding. I mean, they were the talk of the town. There was every week the NFL had them at the top of the league, strong ranking strength, and into like week 5, 6, or 7, and then all of a sudden it's like Giants who, and they've just been going the wrong way, and I don't know what it is there, but so Nathan's got the Vikes, Robert's got the Vikings as well, and I think we're all on board with the Vikings this week. So, but the Bengals and the Patriots. So the Patriots are at home. The Bengals are going to go in and visit them. NFLweather.com says it's just going to be cold is all it's going to be. Clear throughout the day, 16 degrees Fahrenheit, because we've got that Storm Elliott, hitting the East Coast and terrorizing the Midwest and everything else. So it's super cold, yeah, so be nice cold game. Still waiting for that snow game and to see that snow game, but not going to happen today. So Bengals on the road. Who you got here? Or I think you picked last time, or I don't know. It doesn't matter, but I'll take the Patriots at home actually.
Ooh, so we're going to differ on this. I'm going to take the Bengals because they've won like 9 games in a row, and they're playing great at the end of the season. And it's only 3. I just can't trust Patriots offense enough to score points. I mean, Stevenson's running the ball pretty well, but the Bengals at any point could put up 40 with all the receivers they have. Mixon's back. I think they're healthy. I got to take the Bengals right now.
I'm not going to lie. I said that, and it must be this that said that. No, I'm taking the Bengals. You can
change your pick if you want.
Yeah. No, I am. I'm taking the Bengals. I don't know what I was thinking. My boom mic was kind of crossing. I don't know what I was thinking when I said
that's a good stout.
I said
6%. That's a tough 6.
Right. Kentucky bourbon barrel aged, right?
Yeah.
No. So I've got this warm welcome. It's an import, UK import. Nut
don't make Nathan rewind.
Yeah, we won't make him rewind. Dave's got a brew dog out of Ohio with the whole Christmas vacation theme, stout, right?
Pecan toffee stout.
Yeah,
delicious.
So, but yeah, so obviously, this nut brown ale's got me talking in La La Land. No, I'm taking the Bengals. There's not a doubt in my mind. All right, so next game today. Still got a couple going on today, or quite a few actually. So the Lions are going to be playing the Panthers. The Lions are 2.5-point favorites on the road in Carolina, and I'll take the Lions on the road. Lions are looking good.
Yeah, it's brand new Lions, not the same old Lions. They got it rolling. This big old emotional ex-player, Dan Campbell's got this team, believing in him as a coach, very motivational coach, like him. It's nice to see the Lions not the doormat of the league, getting in there for that city of Detroit. But yeah, I'm going to take the Lions too. They're getting better. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that. The Lions are definitely a better football team this year than they have been. They've been funner to watch. They have some really good, fun young players. With Aiden Hutchinson, the number 3 pick of the draft this year, is doing well for them at defensive end. Jamal Williams, their running back, super positive running back. He's been leading the league in touchdowns for most of the season. So they have a lot kind of going for him. Goff is putting up numbers. So I'm gonna go Lions also for sure.
Roberts feels like Detroit should win, so I'll pick the Panthers.
Yeah, you can't really trust them still, but they look better.
I'll tell you what, what's going for and Nathan says I think the Panthers will take this one as the underdog. What's interesting is that because of the storm Elliott, I'm looking at the weather. I guess my weekly thing now as we get into the cooler weather.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina is going to be 20 degrees today. And I mean, I wouldn't really expect that in the Carolinas to be that cold. It obviously has to be an effect of the storm, and DJ Moore should tear it up for the Lions. Should tear up the Lions D. But yeah, so I think it's kind of a mixed bag there between the viewers and us, but yeah, I mean, just those teams that are trending up, just like the Jags are trending up. Jags have an outside shot of actually making the playoffs. And, they're going to have to definitely win out, maybe have some help, but, they're trending in the right direction and I think have a favorable schedule. And so, and I think the Lions, I mean, I would not have given them a shot and beginning this season, but, here they are. State of Texas is closed today. They're all out looking for their jackets.
Yeah, it's like the teens in Texas. I had a couple friends that posted that live in Texas yesterday and today that it's super cold in Texas right now.
Yeah, I was trying to say 34 degrees in Dallas today. So, all right. So on to the Falcons and the Ravens. I'm going to be honest. I didn't look. Is Lamar Jackson back today? I'm going to guess by the 6th. No,
I don't think he is.
So that's a pretty strong spread for a team without Lamar Jackson that lost last week without him. And
playing against a rookie quarterback again in Atlanta with Ritter.
Yeah. Actually, the Browns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They lost 13-3 to the Browns last week.
Couldn't score any points.
That's. I know the Falcons are not a. I have a tough time with this one. Who you got here?
Falcons are going the wrong way right now. The Ravens are going the wrong way right now. They're feeling, the lines makers must be feeling pretty confident. They gave them more than double the home field goal. I mean, for two teams that it doesn't look like they're going to put up a ton of points, 6.5 is a lot because I don't see a lot of points coming in this game. I see this being a late end of the season ugly game with backup quarterbacks and not a lot of offense. I think I might take the Falcons just because this game could be like 10-13. Baltimore's probably not that warm. I mean, this could be a 10, even if it's 10-16, you still win that. It's 6.5. I see it being low scoring, ugly game. I'm going to take the Falcons just because I don't see the Ravens scoring a touchdown enough to take a 7-point lead, really.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It's no one in the world would think you take the Falcons here over the Ravens, other than maybe Nathan. Nathan's got the Ravens by 10 because Lamar's out. Robert's going to go with the Falcons.
I'm sure on
Patterson, Algier, they're going to run like the Ravens. So I'm on board with the Falcons here, just keeping it close. I don't know where the Ravens offense. They couldn't score last week against the Browns. The Browns don't have a stellar defense, and they couldn't score a touchdown. So, I got to go. I mean, if the Falcons think that their backup quarterback's better than Marcus Mariota, I got to go with the Falcons here. I really think that Falcons could win this game. I mean, not just looking at the spread, but we'll see. But
it takes a couple big Cordell Patterson plays. That's what he does.
Yeah,
he can have a pop off a big game at any time.
Yeah, so now we have Commanders going on the road to play your 49ers. Going to be a balmy 57 degrees in San Francisco today.
That's nice.
49ers are favored at home by 7. I have no problem taking the 49ers at home in this game, regardless of how the Commanders are doing this season. This is a home game, big weekend. Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers at home. I'm sure you probably won't.
Yeah, I'm feeling festive, so I'm going to take my Niners by 7. I do think it could be a close game. They do have good talent there at the Commanders at the receiving position. Samuel can make plays. McLaurin can make plays. They haven't as much, but I think just our pass rush and our D line getting to the quarterback will be huge today. Our
Yep.
defense is
Yeah.
playing so lights out the last few weeks. The Commanders do get Chase Young back, so that'll be good for Commanders fans. It's the best defensive player he hasn't played all year. Is back at defensive end, so that's something to look at. But if he goes against Trent Williams, our left tackle, that's amazing. I'm not too worried about his first game back. Probably be on a snap count anyway. You'll see him on third downs, rushing situations. I don't think they're going to bring him back full speed every down. They'll put him in where he can have success on third down, passing situations where he can just rush the quarterback. But yeah, my Niners, they're playing great. This Purdy kid, Mr. Irrelevant,
Yeah.
last pick in the draft. What a story. Everybody loves him. You know, Maybe it's Kurt Warner's son. We just don't know about it. This kid no one's thinking about coming in and winning games for a team that's going to the playoffs. How exciting for him and his family. He saw a game last week. His dad was in the crowd crying, watching
Oh,
his
really?
son. Yes, watching his son lead the team to wins and throwing touchdowns. And so just a great story for him. But yeah, gonna take my Niners. Hopefully they can get a great home win and keep this thing going with this young rookie quarterback no one had eyes for.
Yeah, it should be a good game. This game was going to be my game of the week. This was going to be my game of the week, and but without Jalen Hurts, I'm sorry, yeah, without Jalen Hurts, um, this game gets a little more difficult to pick. So I picked your 49ers first last game. Who you got here?
I really want to see Gardner Minshew, the mustachioed man. This guy that's got all this pizzazz to him. When we've seen him in the past come in, I would love to see him come in and beat the Cowboys. I would just love it. I don't think it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I sure would love to see it happen. But you know what? It's 4.5. I think he's a good enough quarterback. I think the Cowboys might win by a field goal, but I don't know if they'll win by 4.5 because, yeah, I mean, Hurts is out. He's a lot of the offense, but they still have everyone else.
Yeah,
They have a great defense. Their defense is getting better and better every week. It's not like the Cowboys are just blowing out people every week. They have some good pieces and they're playing well, but the Eagles still have that defense. The Eagles still have Sanders, who's playing well. They got Brown. They got Smith. I mean, Garner's got weapons. I'm going to take the Eagles just based on the spread. Maybe they do lose by a field goal, but I think Garner, he's kind of got that Heineke magic. Minshew just sometimes some dudes have that magic where they come in and can make plays even if they haven't played for a while and they're just ballers. And I think he's kind of a baller. And so I think he at least keeps it close. I'm going to take the Eagles.
yeah. I'm I hate to ever take the Cowboys, and I will absolutely find a reason not to pick the Cowboys, and that reason this week is when I looked online and saw that Gardner Minshew was going to be starting for the Eagles. The guys at least got starter play. He was playing well for the season. He was the talk of the NFL for a season. Of course, all about his play and the stash. But you know what? I mean they lose a lot. They definitely lose a lot without Jalen Hurts. But I think they put someone in that's been working with the first team all week. So he's getting acclimated, got the plays down. I'm taking the Eagles here. I think the Eagles win the game. And so I definitely, on the points, taking the Eagles here to keep it closer, win the game. So, and I think the Eagles got to keep it. They got to keep running, and you can't, get to a point, because honestly, and is what I was reading is if the Eagles win today, Jalen Hurts can rest another week. If they don't win this week, then he's probably going to be forced to play next week. And
Yeah. Well, and I feel like this is a game because Jalen Hurts is out. That if you're the head coach and the defensive coordinator, you're going against your division rival, another team that's probably going to make the playoffs. You go and you say, "Hey, defense, this is a great time to show everybody that this just isn't a Jalen Hurts show."
Exactly.
Like that, we're not just this kid's having a great year, and making plays with AJ Eric Brown, as Robert wants to call him this morning. Don't know if that's his middle name or he's just referencing our old good buddy we grew up with, Eric Brown. But we, it's a prime game against a division rival where you can say, "Hey, defense, show that this isn't just a Jalen Hurts situation this year. Let's go out and stop Dak and Pollard and Lamb and Prescott, and let's put our best foot forward here on Christmas Eve and show we're more than just a Jalen Hurts offense."
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. All right, moving on to our last Saturday game, and I meant to pull up this clip. This was such a disappointing game because last week, I'm sorry, with the Raiders Patriots. The Raiders never should have been in position to win the freaking game because there was a pass interference in the end zone that wasn't called. And on the Raiders, this should never have gone to, a stupid ass play. And I'm not just going to, why are we lateraling the ball with no, why you've been playing this game since you were kids. You've done all the stupid through youth football and high school and college. You've done all the stupid stuff that the coaches have drilled in you. Don't do stupid stuff. And you go out and do stupid stuff and you give the game away. Okay. That scenario was stupid, but they never should have been in that scenario because that was an absolute clear as day pass interference call in the end zone with a referee standing 5 yards away, staring at a guy that was completely in the receiver. Horrible, horrible call on behalf of the NFL, and the Patriots should be given that win. Not that I had any fight in it, but I'm just saying that was a horrible call, and it changed the entire. Again, that call gets made, the Patriots win the game, and I don't know. That's just where I'm at. And because of that, I hate the Raiders, and I'm taking the Steelers at home by 2.5. Merry Christmas, Nathan, by the way. You said you got to run. So Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for checking in with us today. See you next week.
Probably has to go to the grocery store, make sure there's a ham left, for tomorrow.
I think he's in Vegas.
Good man. I've done a lot of Christmases in Vegas. It's a great place to go for Christmas.
He said earlier something about Modelo, his Modelo for the day for me, and I meant to comment on that. And then he said Brewdog just got a place going on the strip in Vegas. So I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming.
We'll check it out in March. Yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely. So so Kim's got the Raiders. Robert's got the Raiders. Just win. Dang it. No. Who you got?
My heart wants to take the Steelers because rest in peace, Franco Harris, that passed away at 72 years old this week, a couple days ago, and it is going to be, I think, the 50-year anniversary of the Immaculate Reception is going to be celebrated this weekend. They were going to have him on the field. There were so many things planned in Pittsburgh around this 50-year anniversary of Immaculate Reception. One of the greatest plays in NFL history that Franco Harris made in the 70s when he was a rookie. So sad he dies 4 days before this big celebration of the best play of his life. He's a legend in Pittsburgh, always will be. Um, I hope Najee Harris for the Steelers just runs through brick walls today in honor of Franco Harris. There for those Steelers fans waving their terrible towels and everything. So my heart wants to pick the Steelers. My head's kind of leaning Raiders. But you know what? It's Christmas, and I want to see Christmas miracles. So I want to go with my dad's Steelers. A lot of family, friends, Steeler fans. I want to see the Steelers get this win. Plus, I still want to see. I want to see the coach for the Steelers. He's never had a losing season. He's at least been 500 every single year. He needs to get a couple more wins this season to make sure that happens. So Mike Tomlin, I don't want to see his streak get crushed, and I think this is a game that they can win for him to help. And his players, right? They're out of the playoffs, right? What do you have left to play for? Our coach has never had a losing season. Let's play our ass off to make sure we're not the team that makes his first losing season in over a decade.
Right.
So this is a game they can win to make sure that doesn't happen. JJ Watt's back. That means a whole ton of a lot too to that defense.
TJ.
Yep. TJ Watt. JJ's on your team. His brother is in Steelers. But yeah, so I want to see him just wrap up Carr as many times as he can. So I'm going Steelers.
All right, Steelers. We're all on board with the Steelers. All of our viewers are on board with. Oh no, Robert's got the Raiders. No. He changed his mind early. He said, "Dang it, Raiders just win." He's a good point, Najee, up front for that. Give me the Steelers. So we're all on board with that. Okay, get into tomorrow's games. We've got a few games on tap for Christmas Day. Packers and Dolphins. Dolphins at home tomorrow with the Packers. They're favored by 3.5. It's going to be 47 degrees, light rain possibly in the evening. Not a worry for either one of these teams. Who you got here?
Dolphins have lost their last 3. Now, they have all the talent in the world. I don't know if they're that team that's slipping, say, like the Giants or some of these other teams, the Falcons, because they do have so much talent. I think they can get themselves out of that 3-game hole quickly. But Tua has not been playing well. This might be the game he needs back home against a Packer team that is playing a little bit better than they have been most of the season, but they're still not. You can't count on them. 3.5, so it's a little over a field goal. They're going to have to win by at least 2 field goals at home. I think I'm going to take the Dolphins at home. They just have, with Waddle and Tyreek, they just have too much talent where they can score points, where I do not see the Packers. Because even if you look, the Packers won last week, but Rodgers didn't have a great game. He didn't put up a ton of stats. Right. They just won, but they didn't, I don't think they can put up the numbers the Dolphins can if the Dolphins are clicking. And you can throw Tyreek a 5-yard slant and he could take it 80 yards. You don't have to bomb it down the field to him all the time. He's so fast. You can just set up screens for him and slants and quick stuff. Yeah. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins. They're still a better team. I'm not sold on the Packers yet. They're playing better, but they're still not good. This is a game the Dolphins need to get back on track to show that, hey, when we hit the playoffs, we can roll with the Bills or we can roll with the Chiefs or something. So I'm going to go Dolphins.
Right. Yeah, and those 3 losses, Bills, 49ers, and the Chargers. Bills, 49ers, going to make the playoffs. Chargers, don't know yet. I think they're in the 6th spot. But 3 very talented teams, much more talented than the Packers, I think. And because I would take the 49ers, I would take the Bills for sure. And I'd think about it, but I'd give it to Justin Herbert right now. And he's a record-setting quarterback, still growing, getting better. So I would probably take the Chargers. So in this case, yeah, the Dolphins. I'll take the 3.5 at home and in the rain. Uh, yeah, like I said, short screen's all you need. You don't need to bomb it. Wet football, who cares? Get it short and let your receivers run it. So yeah, so it looks like we're all on board with the Dolphins in this game. Next, we got the Broncos and the Rams. The Broncos are going to SoFi down in your neck of the woods in your hood. Yeah, so I Broncos are favored on the road. And yeah, they beat a lowly Cardinals team last week, but that was really a good game until the second half. And with Colt McCoy going down last week, and McCluskey, let's say, or something like that. Our third string quarterback they just couldn't put points up, couldn't stop anything. It was an embarrassment as usual for my Cardinals. I'm taking the Rams at home though. I'm still feeling the Mayfield magic, even though they lost last week and really struggled. I'm still taking the Rams at home.
This is a real tough game for me to pick. You got the Rams. Aaron Donald's out for the rest of the season. You do have Mayfield there. It'll be his third game. It's going to be a real pooper, this game. This is going to be a crap game. Not my game of the week for sure. The Broncos, you had Rippon come in. Mark Rippon went to WSU, was a Redskin before they were Commanders, led them to the Super Bowl. His son is now quarterbacking the Broncos. That's kind of fun to watch. Since we were close to the Palouse, and I remember watching Mark Rippon as a kid at Washington State. They did win. Broncos did win last week at home. They do have a sound defense against a Ram team that can't put up much offense basically all year. But Baker's in. It's under the lights. I'm going to take the Broncos just to be different from you because I need to catch up. So basically my pick's going to be based on I'm down by 4 to you, and I need to have a few that are different. I think you could be right, but just because it's a swing game and it's a crap game and the Broncos won last week, I'll take the Broncos just to see if I can pick up a game on you.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good, and anything can happen. I'm still holding out that Mayfield can hold on to the starting QB position going into next season for the Rams, and just because you know how I feel about Stafford. But even though he won a Super Bowl last year, and I had to finally admit that I was wrong about Stafford, but I think we're back to the same old Stafford this year, even though he's hurt. Anywho. So we got 2 games left. So here in Glendale, Arizona, locally to me, 15 minutes away, the Cardinals will be hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Dome. It will be, 60 degrees, 70 degrees. I don't know. It's going to be in the 70s sometime next week. Dome doesn't really matter. It just says dome. It doesn't even give you a temperature because it's in the dome. So it'll be a nice, warm 75, 80 degrees in the dome. So the Bucs will feel right at home as they destroy the Arizona Cardinals at home this week. Oh, but 7.5 points. That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. I didn't look to see who's starting for the Cardinals if McCoy will be back or not.
I don't think he is.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Bucs. I'm gonna take the Bucs here at home against my Cardinals.
I feel just really sad for you today because it's Christmas Eve. No, because it's Christmas Eve, and your team's playing at home, and the Bucs haven't been very good all year, and they're a 7.5 point favorite at the Cardinals. I know you're going on your third quarterback, but the Bucs haven't played well all year, and they're a 7.5 point favorite at this point, which just means that the Cardinals are terrible at this point. They got injuries. They haven't played well. They're not clicking. Coach should be fired, but you have him on a 37-year contract for $900 million a year, which is ridiculous. You got a quarterback that hasn't played up to his, Elon Musk size contract.
Right.
Nobody seems to like him on the team. He's kind of got this Russell Wilson thing going for him, and he hasn't won a Super Bowl, and he's real early in his career for that to happen to him. Gosh, that's just awful. And I like a lot of players on the Cardinals. I mean,
oh yeah, tons of talent. I mean,
Hopkins has to be losing his mind because he's one of the best receivers in the league, and this team can't get their stuff together to make him be the kind of guy he should be. But yeah, I got to take the Bucs because they have to win. The Panthers are catching up on them. The Saints are catching up on them. The Falcons are still just a little bit back. Like, the NFC South is a mess, but anyone can still win that division. So the Bucs have to win to keep their league.
They're like 6-8 leading their division.
They're going to be a 500 team that gets in the playoffs, or maybe even a losing record team that gets in the playoffs. So they have to win this game. I don't know if they win by 7.5. I know we're picking the spreads, but I think they got to make a statement to the rest of the NFC South, like, okay, we have to turn it on the last 3 weeks. We're winning. We're destroying this team we should beat, and we're taking this momentum in the last 2 weeks after this week to win this division and get in the playoffs. Then anything can happen. You know, the GOAT could do anything. You could throw 3 touchdown passes to Mike Evans in one game and get an upset in the first round of the wild card week or whatever, right. You know. But yeah, they have to win this game, and I think they have to make a statement with an injured down Cardinals franchise at the end of the season. They need this kind of big blowout confidence when the Bucs do go into the rest of the season. So I'm going to take the Bucs. That's a big spread, but I can't see the Cardinals moving the ball that well. I can't see them third string quarterback. They haven't all season, and it's not just the quarterback. I don't trust the coaching because when they've had their better players in, they haven't been able to do it. So why would I think this kid's going to be able to fare any better, you know? So yeah, I got to take the Bucs. They still have good veterans on that team, that Buck team that should just dominate this Arizona team today.
Yeah, you know, and it goes something else that irritated me last week and with the NFL was the Cardinals scored a touchdown finally. And they had to go for 2 to get it within 8 or 7. And so they went for 2. They threw the ball to Hopkins in the end zone on the 2-point attempt. He was absolutely clearly, just like the Raiders, it was an obvious pass interference. Guy was completely in his chest, pushing a wrap. It was an obvious pass interference. Replay showed the official again looking at the play. Didn't call it. Hopkins is going crazy, talking to the ref, and continues talking to the ref. Then I saw a clip of Hopkins walking down the sidelines to Cliff Kingsbury. Hot, you know, just like had his helmet and Cliff just kind of pats him on the butt and says, you know, in my head, it's just like, how you get him next time, buddy? That, you know, to me, that's where's the fire in the coaching? Sure, you're not gonna change that play. There is nothing you can do to change that play. But when are you going to actually stand up for your football players? Yeah. Because to me, if I'm Hopkins and if that's what was said, because he just kind of it was literally a 1 to 2 second exchange. Hopkins walks up to the coach with this like, they just screwed me, coach. Don't worry, you get him next time. No bullshit, coach. What do you do? You know, is that how resigned you are to all of this? We just scored a touchdown. We've got momentum. We get that. We can actually win this game. But now we're out. We cannot possibly win this game with the time that's left to us. So, you know, screw you, coach. If you don't want to fight for us, just get in the ref's ear for 2 minutes. Stand up for your players.
Well, and stand up for the best player on your team.
Yeah.
Him or you know, you're a veteran like J.J. Watt. And I was thinking about this. I was watching some NBA games I recorded last night, and I was kind of thinking about that because there was a play that happened, and now you can replay some things in basketball. You can do a challenge, kind of like in football, where you can say, "Hey, I want this reviewed. I
Right.
don't think that was a foul, or I think that was a
Right.
foul, or whatever." And I was thinking about that of like, at what point do coaches get technical, standing up for their players and things like that? Because I've coached, and when was it my time to go in and lay in on the refs and take a technical if I needed to, just to get my point across? Because that's the thing is, with that play, he needs to stand up for his best offensive player and say something to the refs, because yeah, it's not going to change that play, but it could change the next play.
Right.
It could be in that ref's head. Like, that's why you talk to the refs. When you talk to the refs, it's not, you don't have to bombard them like, yeah, they miss calls. There's nothing you can do to change it, but you can say, like in basketball, for instance, as a point guard, if I have a guy grabbing my arms while I'm dribbling, or impeding me moving around because they're hooking me or something like that, I need to tell my coach, if the ref's not going to listen to me, hey, this guy's grabbing me all the time. You need to talk to the ref and say, hey, they're grabbing us constantly. They're hooking. Watch for the hook. Watch this. Yeah, you might not have had that called earlier, but maybe they'll look for it in the second half. And then when you come out in the second half and the guy hooks you and they call a foul, you're like, as a player, you're like, oh, they listened.
Right.
Like, I'm going to have more freedom now. Like, they're actually going to call this now. So that's why you have to say something if you're a coach. It might not be about that play, because that play is gone. You can't get it back. But there's more plays coming up.
Yeah.
If Arizona were to get the ball back and they got into a similar position, and then Hopkins is down there and a similar play happens, maybe the ref calls it that time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you have to, and especially when it's your best players, you have to stand up for your best player. Because if your best player's like, oh, this guy's doesn't have my back, guess what? That's not a good relationship. Your best players have to trust and believe in you 100% as a coach, or else the whole team's going to follow suit. Well, if the best player isn't going to get back, he doesn't care about me. Like, why would he care about me?
Right.
So yeah, that's just a bad coaching situation where, yeah, those situations, even if you're wrong, even if you think you might be wrong, you still have to do it. You have to go through the motions of getting that trust. Even if you're like, oh, that wasn't a pass interference. If your guy 100% believes it, it doesn't break a sweat after you to go up to the ref, at least make that gesture in front of your player like you're trying to fight for him.
Yeah.
If your player's can't even hear you, hey, Bill, Merry Christmas. I hope you got your wife a great present. Well, at least make it look like you're doing something. It's like a major league. They go out to the mound. Hey, what's happening? We're trying to figure out what we're going to get him for his wedding gift. Candlestick holders are always a good gift. All right. At least make it look like you're doing something.
Yeah, in Roberts' draft position, and sure, we're certainly looking at that, but it's just going to be another linebacker. But also, if you don't really care now because of draft position, again, with your best player, you can't lose this guy next year, right? You can't lose your receiving core. You can't lose your top players just because you're going for draft position and you're losing and you don't really care. They do have Steve Keim now out on indefinite leave due to illness. That's usually, sorry. I didn't get that. So, but yeah, Steve Keim is out indefinitely, our general manager, and great friend of Bidwell, the owner. So I think this is kind of the probably the end of Steve Keim as general manager. I think they'll just say, due to illness, whatever, and make it an amicable separation instead of Bidwell having to fire a good friend of his. And but it's a start. And,
can we apply? Is it open applications?
I'm local. Let's do it. You move here,
You're big time local. You've been hanging out at Arizona State sport facilities lately.
Oh, yeah. I wish I didn't. I left my phone in my golf bag. Otherwise, I'd have try to take a selfie in front of the national championship trophy that was there. Oh, that was a highlight of my life right there. Thank you, Matt Trimble. Or that didn't happen because he said during the regular season, this I couldn't do this. They'd frown upon me doing this, but no one's here, so I got a. For those who don't know, I got a nice tour of the Arizona State University's new golf training facility, and it is absolutely beautiful. And they've got some one-off paintings in there of John Rahm, Matt Perez, Phil Mickelson, some other top college players. Now it's beautiful, beautiful facility, and was very honored to be able to walk through that yesterday, couple days ago, and after my golf lesson with a PGA professional. So yeah. So anyway, so enough about the Cardinals. I could go on forever. We do have one more game, and that will be Monday. The Colts and the Chargers. The Chargers are on the road. Our Justin Herbert Oregon Duck is on the road to play Matt Ryan at home. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I had to have been a killer to lose this game to the Vikings when you had such a lead. But what that tells me is they just don't really have a great defense here. I don't know who picked the last game, but I'm taking the Chargers on the road.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's been benched. They're playing Nick Foles the rest of the season. The Colts basically,
really?
after that Vikings game, are just trying to get through the end of the season, it looks like. Moving on to next year. Got to go for the Bolts because Herbert's playing well. Their receivers are finally healthy. You're going to have Allen, you're going to have Williams together. Herbert's lighting it up, and they need to keep winning. They're not in the playoffs yet. So playing against this bad Colt team, they have to get a win. I mean, basically the Chargers are must wins the rest of the way. They're in a fight for these last, wild card spots. So you got to have the Chargers playing well, ending the season to get in, to have momentum getting in. They are getting healthy. So yeah, I'm taking the Chargers. Hopefully they're on an upslide at the end of this year where they're finally healthy and playing some good ball going into what hopefully is a playoffs for them.
Nice. So that's it. Games have been called. The glass is empty, and that's it, fans. Went a little bit long today, but I think it was worth it for our holiday special show. We only have it once a year, so going all out. I mean, I made all these fine little banner thingies or whatever overlays.
I got all dressed up.
You got all dressed up. I did not. I do have Christmas lights around me. I don't have any Christmas clothes. We're not a Christmas dress up family.
I don't have a choice. I get new ones every year from my mother-in-law and my wife.
But you know what? My wife does have she does have Christmas clothes, and I do not. So anyway, enjoy your football day, everyone. What's your game of the week, by the way?
Let's see. First, I'm graduating into the next year, so I have to, move my tassel. Man, these games suck today, kind of. Like, this week, there's not a lot of great ones. I mean, I would say if this was 3 weeks ago, it would be Seahawks at the Chiefs. You know what? I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with the Seahawks at the Chiefs. It would have been the Eagles-Cowboys if Hurts was playing. It might still be. Big divisional game, two good teams, two good records. But I really like that Seahawks-Chiefs. It's an old AFC rivalry. The Chief fans aren't going to forget all the battles they had with the lowly Seahawks when they were both in the AFC West back in the 80s and 90s. So I like Seahawks-Chiefs for the nostalgia because I grew up watching Seahawks-Chiefs as rivalries, watching Derek Thomas sack Dave Craig like 8 times in one game for a record in the game. Never forget that. But I'd say Seahawks at Chiefs for that, and or the Eagles and the Cowboys. I still think that's going to be a good game, division rival game.
Yeah, Eagles Cowboys is my game of the week. Maybe the Bills Bears, but yeah, the Eagles Cowboys game. I wouldn't care if it wasn't Gardner Minshew. I mean, if it was just a backup, no name backup, yeah, okay, whatever. and it would be the Bills Bears, but two full strength teams, but with the Bills Bears. So anyway, all right, everyone. Well, Merry Christmas to everyone, and we will be back next Sunday at our regular time, I believe, unless some of the games are on Saturday again. I don't know. We may put out an announcement whenever most of the games are. We'll go ahead and put out an announcement, and so our show will be next. Patriots already called a TO today. Games have started, huh? We got to
5
get off
minutes.
here. Oh, Merry Christmas, fellas. Merry Christmas, Robert.
Merry Christmas.
And I totally forgot. See, I thought, it's no big deal that we went long. Games are on, so we got to get off here. All right, everyone. Any last words, Dave?
Just Merry Christmas, everyone. Robert, thank you for the Christmas card with your wonderful recipe that was in it that you send every year from you and your wife. Instapot, beautiful recipe that me and my wife are going to try. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Have fun with your friends, your family, and just enjoy your day today and tomorrow.
Awesome. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic Christmas, and we'll see you all next week.